This is the Dean Trailways fifth quarter.
We're the Laingsburg Wolfpack. And it's time to get to fifth quarter.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Dean Trailways fifth quarter, our first Friday night fifth quarter of the new season, with the opening games being played for the most part on Thursday last week. I'm Fred HEUMANN, always have been. Kevin Gale standing by over in Studio B. Thanks for joining us on the show that Mid-Michigan Prep fans have been relying on for 22 years, and we appreciate all of your support. Lots to get to tonight, so let's get right to it. We'll start with a big game right here, one that didn't turn out to be what Eaton Rapids had hoped for. The Greyhounds in the home opener hosting Mason. Both teams 1-0. Mike Smith looking on, trying to go 2-0 for the first time in 20 years. Third quarter, Mason up 14-0. Jarrett Van Havel's got to be related to the coach. Hands off to sophomore Hunter Holbrook. Look at him go. Mason takes it 50 yards into the end zone. Bulldogs led 20-0. Later in the third quarter, Greyhounds get on the board. They're about to, then Jake Scavarda sacks Jared McDaniel. Lands right in the hands of Mason, or should we say right in the hands of Holbrook, who rams it in for the touchdown, his third of the night. Holbrook, 210 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bulldogs go to 2-0, shut out the Greyhounds 36-0.
It's just a really good feeling, you know, working hard. Our O-line, I have to give it all to my O-line. If I didn't have a good O-line, that wouldn't be me in the end zone.
Did you expect this coming in tonight, shutting out Eaton Rapids?
No, not really. I mean, Eaton Rapids has made great strides, and Coach Smith is doing a great job, and their program will continue to come along. And so, no, we're happy to get a shutout, and, you know, we're happy to move the ball well on offense as well.
We're going home next week to play at home.
I still say that coach looks like he's 26 years old, Jerry Van Havel. A lot of our top local teams are playing out of town tonight. We'll get to those scores, the ones we have later, but 2 local teams squared off in town. I'm glad I didn't have to shoot this game. Kevin Gale joins us now. He ran camera for the first one. Kevin, tell us about it.
Fred, we all know the Haslet Vikings love to run. That's always been the Charlie Otlewski mentality. In fact, the Vikings are so good at faking handoffs in the backfield. That's why our own Fred HEUMANN is afraid to shoot their game highlights, because he can't follow the ball. Must be those old eyes. This week, I get to follow the fakes at Haslet. Wild student section celebrating USA night. Lansing Eastern down 28-0 at the half, but they recover an onside kick. Then E.J. Jackson fights in. Quakers add the 2, 28-8. Now take some notes here, Fred. I kept the camera on Trace Woodworth, and he dives in, 34-8 Haslet. Jackson adds another score for Eastern, but the Quakers can't keep Haslet out of the end zone. Lee Mott, applesauce. The Vikings even their record at 1-1 thanks to this home opening blowout, 41-16. Now let's go to Owasso, defending state champs from on the road and off to a perfect start in 2013. First quarter, Owasso QB Scott Herron goes deep to Gavin Barnes, and he's moving like a tremendous machine. He gallops in, Trojans lead 7-0. But once Portland gets going, it's all one-sided. Jacob Kimmel, get off me, bro! All the way to the zone of endness. The Raiders roll, 49-14. Portland improves to 2-0. Owasso falls to 0-2, Fred.
All right, Lansing Catholic trying to avoid a 0-2 start. I'm told Jordan Weaver was in the stands. If she wasn't this Bob, Uncle Fred couldn't find her. The Cougar helmet's going against Saginaw Novell. This quarterback from Novell is something else. Wonder if Mark D'Antonio's watching this kid. Senior Garrett Graham over 200 yards rushing. Touchdown there from 15 out. Breaks a 7-7 tie. They recover the ensuing kickoff. That drew an unsportsmanlike flag on Coach Jim Ahern. He needed his defense to toughen up here, and it did. Look at this big hit by Peter Atkins. Gotta show that. Very nice. But Saginaw Novell had too much offense. Here, senior Austin Hughes gets outside the edge. Follow the ball, Fred. There he goes. And there he goes to the end zone. Saginaw Novell now 0-2. Beats now 1-1. Catholic 0-2, 28-14. The final, a crosstown rivalry in Jackson tonight. The upstart Jackson Vikings with new coach Scott Farley playing as the visitors in their own stadium, because Jackson Lumen Christi uses Withington Stadium as its home. Look at this guy. That's Keaton Kaufman into the clear. By the time the Vikings catch him, he's into the end zone. Titans up big, ensuing kickoff. Look at this. Corey Pryor going to go right up the gut of the Lumen coverage. 75 yards for a touchdown. Good for the Vikings, but this one was all Lumen Christi. Herb Rogan's boys, 2-0, 43-14 the final.
Well, it's a huge win. I mean, this is the biggest rivalry game of the year. You know, they got new staff, fresh ideas. They came in really feeling, I think, pretty confident. And I thought we did a great job of taking advantage of our opportunities, taking advantage of field position.
Let's go to the Cascades Conference. Hanover-Horton at East Jackson. The band from East Jacks in good tune. The Hanover offense in better tune. Screen pass from Colton Lowry to Jake Klotz. He cuts back inside and moves deep into East Jackson territory. That sets up Lowry on the keeper this time. Fights through the D for a score. What a run and what a victory. Hanover-Horton wins it 34-8. We're only halfway done here on the Dean Trailways fifth quarter. When we come back, we'll pay a visit to the always intriguing CMAC, plus revenge is sweet for Lansing Sexton. That's right, a pair of one-point losses haunted the Big Reds for the last 2 years. So Coach Dan Bogan and company finally try to get over that hump. Find out what happens next as the fifth quarter rolls along.
The Dean Trailways fifth quarter is brought to you by Dean Trailways of Michigan, Meyer, and by J.R. Neely Home Improvements.
Welcome back to the Dean Trailways fifth quarter. Lansing Sexton nearly made the playoffs last season for the first time since 2006. But the Big Reds fell just 1 point short thanks to an early season loss to Monroe, 42-41. Oh, and don't forget, Sexton lost to Monroe by 1 point in 2011 as well. So you know Dan Bogan's boys are hungry for payback. First quarter, Morris Allen looks more like Emmitt Smith. What footwork, what skill, what a touchdown! Okay, he's taken down at the goal line, but that sets up Malik Mack on the very next play. Quarterback keeper, money. 7-0 Sexton. Big Reds on a mission after two heartbreaking losses to Monroe. John Bartle off tackle, 2 yards for the score. Avante Bell leads with 3 TDs, and congrats to Sexton. 38-0 win over Monroe. The Demons finally exercised, Fred.
All right, DeWitt plays each year this team from Ontario, Holy Trinity from Cortese, Ontario. The two teams had dinner together last night. The team from Cortese toured Michigan State's campus today. Then got to play their anthem tonight before the game. I love this.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Oh, I'm not supposed to sing. How cool is that? End of the game. First quarter, Panthers take it all the way down the field. Finish off here. Ben Heinrich spins in for the touchdown. 123 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns for him, and another TD on a pick. Look at that pass. Jacob Johnson, the D1 prospect to Joshua Borda. He had 3 touchdowns. Johnson passed for 3. God bless America. Panthers roll 54-0 over their neighbors from the north. To Williamston, where the Hornets would try to bounce back from an opening week humiliation at Ithaca, hosting Fowlerville tonight. Let's move right to the third quarter, shall we? Williamston up big, but not for long. Hayden Toon is going to take it to the house. This will extend the lead. Yeah, they're still up big. That's a touchdown. Then Toon getting in tune on defense as he comes away with the sack here in the end zone for a safety. Williamston, plenty of offense and plenty of D. Hornets now 1-1, 44-0. Kevin?
Fred, we go everywhere. Howell on the outskirts of the viewing area, but we love these Highlanders. So here they are, battling Livonia Franklin. Okay, opening kickoff. Howell wasting no time. Somebody coughs up the ball. Colton Fisher comes up with it. That leads to a Howell field goal. Second quarter, Caleb Finnemore. Is he related to Steve Finnemore, our buddy from East Lansing? Nah, I doubt it. Caleb gets loose for Livonia Franklin. Slippery dude in for the score. Game tied 6-6. Later, 4th and 1. Let's go for it. Freddie Taft. Hey, his name's Fred. Give him 6. Hey, that's our channel. Big ups to Howell. 35-6 winners tonight. Let's jump to the CMAC for a battle of league elites. Fowler and Laingsburg, 2 favorites in the title race, but both teams lost their season openers on the road last week. More from the CMAC as Laingsburg hosts Fowler, always entertaining. Straight to the third. Joe Hatt gives to Jacob Arthur. And this will do just fine, folks. Laingsburg lights the scoreboard after that bruising run. Nicely done. Later, the pack goes up top. But Fowler's Dylan Armbrustmacher Say that 10 times fast. Gets his arm on it. That's a pick. And that sets up Mason Miller. That's easier to say. He gets sneaky. Tricks us a little bit there, too. Nice win for Fowler tonight, 26-12.
And we came out tonight against a great football team. Laingsburg's extremely physical, and they're a lot bigger than us, and we just had to continue to run it down their throats as best we could, and they stopped us over and over again, but we were able to keep at it and came out on top.
Now to the township of Bath. Bees fans buzzing for this CMAC battle with Fulton. Bath quarterback Dylan Moffitt, dynamic to say the least. Watch him reverse field all the way down inside the 10-yard line. That sets up a Zach Richardson score, and the kids celebrate with the Bernie lean. And then he just walks away. Give us more, kid. Later, Moffitt shows off his arm. 4th down for Bath. Pressure comes, but Moffitt finds, guess who? It's that Zach Richardson guy. Bath showers in the glow of victory, 40-22. The Bees get their first win of the new season, Fred.
Who's Bernie Lean? Things got chippy in the second half between Perry and Goodrich. Look at that. Teams had to be separated by the referees. We pick it up third quarter. Perry down 8. Dylan Brooks, their lead horse, takes the handoff, cuts up the middle, spinning away, he's in. 21-19, very next drive. Goodrich comes all the way down. Michael Marston bowls his way over the Perry D, takes 3 Ramblers with him to the 4th. Goodrich quarterback Jack Gleason. One day I oughta, oh, not that Gleason. He connects with Eric Hildebrand for the screen pass, takes it to the house, 35-19. All Goodrich from there. They win it big over Perry, and somewhere here I have a score for you. I'll find it and pass it along. Other scores of teams not playing in the area we want to pass along. You'll see some of the scores screen bottom. But East Lansing went on the road, lost a tough one at Grand Haven, 10-6. Howell West Ottawa pasted Grand Ledge 33-3. And it was Okemos losing to Granville on the road, 23-13. We'll have more in the 5th quarter, including what a volleyball game tonight at Michigan State. We want to remind you that you have our 5th quarter app to access. Starting tomorrow, the games we shoot tonight, expanded highlights on our website, WLNS.com. Click on the 5th quarter webpage and take a look at that. We're back with baseball, volleyball, and more up next.
Who will be the starting quarterback for Michigan State tomorrow? Well, we don't know, because Mark D'Antonio won't tell us. In fact, the better question may be, how many Spartan quarterbacks will we see against a South Florida team that lost to McNeese State last week at home by 32 points? Yuck. One thing we do know, well, the Spartan defense is still loaded.
That was one of our goals. Obviously, we talked about that all offseason, and to do that the first game, it really shows, the emphasis that we put on that really worked. Whether that's talking about it, doing drills, being aware of it on the field, it worked. So we want to continue to do that, and if we keep scoring 14 points a game on defense, we're going to end up winning quite a few.
Michigan tomorrow night at the Big House. Tigers win tonight 16-2, but we got to save that video to show you this. Michigan State volleyball facing 12th ranked Oregon, fighting for every point. Final set, 4th set for match point. Oregon to the volley. Lauren Wachinski, who had a big night. Oregon, that's what Joey Harrington used to say. It's not Oregon, it's Oregon, he said. Who's Oregon, Joey Harrington used to say? You Western people. Wachinski, a big night. The kill in the 6th set causes the Ducks to send it out. Spartans get a big non-conference win. They down the Ducks 3-1. Quack, quack, take that. Michigan State ranked 20th in the country.
The Tigers scored 2 touchdowns and 2 two-pointers tonight.
That? They got a better offense than Michigan State.
Points.
Huh?
Oh, no lie, right?
I can't say that here, can I?
I think that might be sacrilege. Hey, what do you think about this Notre Dame-Michigan game tomorrow? Could be the end of an era.
I don't do predictions.
No, I'm saying, what do you think? It might be the end of an era.
It may be. They'll play next year in South Bend. Who's the beanie guy you were talking about?
Beanie?
The guy that did the dance.
Oh, the Bernie lean. It's where you dance like a dead guy from Weekend at Bernie's.
We're always on, we're always free. WLNS.com.
I'm Bernie leaning